So today I'm going to cover this workflow which I've created. Looks quite complex, but it's not really too bad, to be honest. So we basically can see here we input, so there's two ways. We can input reference images, which will then be created into a mood board. And then we have down here where you can see this bottle of Prime, we can input reference images for a product. This will then run through my stylizer and DNA tool, which will basically extract all of the info from those reference images in that mood board and also embed your product into that. Then you have a selection for brand, product, the visual DNA, which is the attached reference images, and then you have the scenario, which is what you want. So I've got a gritty late night floodlit training ground as my scenario. Then down here, from the DNA and the style, we can either generate a model and then we'll turn that into a character sheet, which will be used in our prompt, or we can import a model. So this is an image I made in Nano Banana Pro for the product. We then crop it down, and then again we can turn that into a character sheet, which we've got here, which is then linked through the node into the prompt. So that's part one. Or if you prefer it, say you see a video on Instagram that you think, oh, I really like that, you can screen record it, crop it down, drop it into this file here. Then we've got a video describer, which will then describe that video and all of the cuts and editing in that. Then we can either turn that video, if you don't have one already, into a mood board like here, which is what I've done, but I do it outside externally and then plug it in, just drag and drop. So then you have your mood board and your video description, and that runs through the same stylizer with the same brand, product, visual DNA and scenario. So then that will then come out to an array, which I've stylized and divided up by this icon, which then splits it into 10 prompts, which then links to 10 image generations, which we can then run. So I'll run some of these now for an example. So as you can see, that's going to cost 120 credits. So we run that, and that will then generate those images. Then we have routers here, which then link to our product images and our mood board and our character sheet. So then that the model knows what the product is, what our model's character sheet looks like, so we keep a consistent character throughout, and that will then give us much better results at the end. So I'll run these as well, which will be another 120 credits. It's a little bit slow because I'm trying to do so much on it, but as and when we'll run those. So yeah, this is quite a complex workflow, but again, so then drops it into, we get our prompts, which this will give us 10 detailed prompts, all split by that. Then we put it into an array, which comes into a list, and the list is split up, and then we can create, see the visuals are starting to come through now, as you can see, a complete mood board of images, which I will show you for Prime. So as you can see, we've got this lovely image here, which has got the Prime bottle. We've got this one, which is really nice. That's another really nice image, just holding it there, as you can see. We've even got the tattoo knowledge on the chest, very accurate. Not sure what's happened here, they're obviously not all going to be perfect, but as you can see, this one's kind of, the bottle's sort of floating in mid-air, but I really like that you've got that nice KSI Prime reflective logo there, really good text accuracy. But you could take that image now and you could bring it into Higgsfield, and you could then work with it and say, well, I want to remove the bottle and just have that as a hero image, for example. Not really sure what's happened there. That's, again, you could do something cool with that though and have sort of the logo on the back or something. Again, quite a nice, on what looks to be like a running track, got the bottle. Again, this is sort of just something you can run initially when you want to build out a mood board or a brand visuals, and then whatever you like you can then download those and work with them. But I really like this as well. Kind of got obviously character and the sort of bottle in that. Got quite an interesting one there. Not really sure where that's come from, but kind of prime Nike collab. I mean, they could be open to it. Not too sure on that one. Let's see what our other generation gave us down here. Oh, I like that a lot, the colouring. Again, could just edit that in a after editor and have his right hand come down and be holding the bottle kind of like by the lid, because that obviously wouldn't logically make sense, the fact it's floating. That's a really nice one, could be quite a cool product image, and as you can see we've got quite good, really good text on the bottle, got the embedded logo with his tongue out and stuff. Again, really like that one. Again, we've got the tattoo really well on there. You can see like KSI the Nightmare, hydration, prime, again, really consistent bottle logo. See, that's quite a nice one. Again, you could make this cage a bit more realistic and part of the image, because obviously that does just look like you've took that image and put like a cage graphic across the front of it, but you could make that look a lot more realistic. Again, we seem to have had a weird prompt, something to do with sort of a sweaty over the shoulder image, not really too sure. And again, I don't really know what's happened here because it's like an oil spill, doesn't really look very good for the drink if it's trying to sort of compare it to oil, so I'm not really too sure. And we've got sort of muddy footprints, doesn't really fit on vibe, but this is really cool, really like that, almost like kind of like nightmare-y vibe to it. Again, you would be able to enhance that bottle in a sort of editor, and I would probably change the boots to something else because not really sure why you would be wearing those. Maybe something more like boxing shoes would be quite good. And quite like that. It's different, it's quite interesting, but again, yeah. But I mean, if you would like to get more context on workflows like this and actually understand them more, have some tutorials of me actually building them, putting them together, and explaining my process behind why I put these different nodes and how to link all of the different aspects and components of the software together, then please just let me know. And obviously I do work for clients, so you can find me on Instagram, it's Elliot Prompts. I have a form in the bio which you can just fill out, and that will send you over to a form which you can complete, and I'll get access to that, and then I'll have your details and I'll be able to get in touch and either build out workflows like this for your business or brand, or work with you to create visuals that you want with intent, and can also do videos, websites, all of that sort of stuff. So if that's something you'd be interested in, then do drop me a message on there, or drop a comment, or fill out the form, and we can go from there. But I hope you like that, and yeah, have a good week. Cheers.